University of Oregon is located in Eugene, a city of 80,000 people, situated in the lush Willamette River Valley, midway between Cascade Mountains and the Pacific Ocean.
Touchdown! Stewart! Yeah, I got your speed right here.
Hey, ball corner 10, outside 5. Are you kidding me?
I'm really proud of where this team's at. We got a lot of work to do.
What's the deal, Doug family? I am Kenjon alongside Jay Stu, and we want to welcome you to another episode of the Ducks Have a Feather podcast. My, oh my, oh my, oh my. What a weekend it was, what a time it is, and what a day it is to be alive. Listen, Jay Stu.
My man, what a time.
What a time. Listen, I cannot tell you enough about that environment.
Yeah, tell me about that environment.
Stu, second to none.
Second to none?
Second to none. You talk about an overall experience, crowd participation, an hour before the game and the stadium is filled.
Wow.
Every seat, not an empty seat in the stadium. The chants, the unison. Listen, noise-wise, I always compare everything to Alton, right? That's always my comparison.
Is it louder than Alton?
I can't say that it is.
Okay.
I go back to last year's Ohio State game, right? When you and I were we couldn't hear each other standing right next to each other.
Right.
Now don't people get mad at me, right? For my opinion, I'm not saying that it's not loud because it's extremely loud. But in comparison to all, it's just not. But if you're talking about an overall experience, there's nothing like a Penn State whiteout in the country. Nothing like. I haven't been to LSU, I haven't been to Bama, I haven't been to Georgia, I haven't been to A&M. It would be hard for me to imagine that there is something better than a Penn State whiteout.
Wow.
I gotta give my honest truth on that. But there was also nothing better than witnessing Oregon beat Penn State in a Penn State whiteout. Absolutely nothing better. Listen, what a game, bro. What an absolute game. And I think it came down to a lot of what we talked about. So kudos to you, kudos to me for knowing what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, we know a little bit about football.
We might know a little ball.
Yeah. We talk ball here and there. But you know what? How did it sound when all 111 of them fans went silent when we won that game? When Thieneman picked that ball, what did that feel like?
It felt like I could get a good night's rest right there on the field.
Oh, you could just go to sleep.
Right there.
Outside. No noise machine.
Outside of Oregon making noise. It was what's that game? Quiet as a mouse, still as a rock. It was quiet in that thing, okay? But rightfully so. One, it's a tragic way to end the game, but it's also a phenomenal way to end the game, depending on what side of the coin you're on.
Mm-hmm.
We could start right there, right? Looking at DT, he had made 2 mistakes. I talked to him after the game. He had made 2 mistakes in the game earlier that were pretty costly, right?
Yeah.
To have the mentality, to have the attitude, the demeanor, the game is on me.
Yeah.
I'm calling game.
Yeah.
And not just, that wasn't no easy pick. My guy Bird is off the charts. Bird is absolutely off the charts. The magnitude, Duck fans might not like this, Stu, right? They might not, but guess what? I might get in trouble. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it anyway.
Say what you need to say.
When you look at that pick, I think that has to go down as one of the greatest picks in Oregon history. That's one of the greatest interceptions in Oregon history. That has to go up there.
You might be messing with somebody over there with the greatest pick in history.
I don't mind.
Okay.
Ruffling feathers. Here's.
Okay. I'm here for it.
This has to go up there with Kenny Wheaton's pick. And I understand it was against, I understand it was against Washington, but this was in a 3 versus 6. This was on the road in a whiteout. This was in a hostile environment. This was in double overtime, game on the line, sealing the game.
And this is a new era, too.
A completely new era. And again, don't get me wrong. I understand what Kenny Wheaton's pick was and what it is and what it represents and what it started for Oregon. But when you're talking about greatest interceptions, this is now up for debate. This has to go up there.
Because he tracked that ball the whole way. He tracked it. He tracked it from he's a safety now, ladies and gentlemen. And he got his behind over there to the flat. Over there to the hook flat area. That's where he was. So he knew out the gate what this play was about to develop into. They had a little swing route. They had a little wheel route. They had a little, I don't know what they was really thinking. It was too congested over there on that sideline to begin with.
You ran 3 people in the same area. What are we doing?
Maybe somebody ran the wrong route. Nah.
Possibly. I don't think so, the way they was running, because it looked layered. It looked layered, okay?
Yeah, it did. But kudos to him, because that was the type of energy that Oregon needed to just solidify themselves as the scariest team in college football, in all college football. And we'll get down to the reasons why I'm saying the scariest, because we talk about preparing for a team, right? First of all, let's just talk about this. I'm going to give you these takeaways that I came with, okay, that I wrote down at 12:30 a.m. Sunday morning.
Now, look, I'm with you.
Okay, so biggest takeaway. Oregon proved that they can win ugly and win late. Now, Kenjon, when we talk about win late, the starters for the University of Oregon has not played in the fourth quarter.
Talk about it.
They have not played full, complete games. So to be able to show up and to win ugly, meaning them first couple series, we was playing a different type of game. We was playing the patient game. As a matter of fact, some might say you was playing the game of James Franklin. Okay? It was Dan Lanning saying, oh, James Franklin, I know what your approach is going to be. You've been watching film. You've been watching these other suckers play us. Okay? They've been trying to run the ball, trying to slow us down. We'll be right there with you with these rocks in our hand, and we're going to throw them right back at you. Okay? And so the slow game, discipline, right? Patience, but most of all, trust. When you got a team that believes, but then trust each other, meaning you trust the coaching staff, you trust the play calling, you trust the development, you trust the opportunity when it comes. This right here, and when we talk about trust, Kenjon, 4th down, baby. We had 5 out of 7 4th down conversions. First of all, he said 7 times, go for it.
Listen, to that, Stu, I'm not going to say with somebody, I went to the back in the locker room after the game, or the makeshift locker room, and somebody was like, you know how we call Chip Big Boss Chip?
Hey.
They got another name for Dan. I will not say it's a pause moment, brother.
Okay,
it's a pause moment.
Okay, big something.
BD squared. I'm gonna let your imagination feel BD squared, okay?
We're just gonna call him Daredevil Dan.
Dan the Man. I'm sticking with Dan the Man.
Dan the Man.
I'm gonna let that individual that brought that to my attention that's what they were. I'm gonna let them call him that. That's not for me. That's not for me.
We're not in that locker room.
No, but you hit the nail on it. You talk about a level of trust, right? Not only in your coaching staff, but a level of trust in the development of your players and your players' ability to go out there and execute what you want them to execute on the most important down. 3rd down obviously being the most, but once you get past 3rd and it's 4th year, there's nothing more important.
Yeah. They was playing a different type of game. They was playing 4 downs. It was like, hey, look, we got 4 downs to convert.
We're 4 down territory. No matter where we are, it's 4 down. It's 4 down territory. We're not
try out and see.
Yeah. But you said they played Penn State's game, and I was talking to people around the stadium a day before the game, and I was saying if I'm Penn State, I'm gonna come out and run the ball 40 times. That's my game plan based on what we put on film. And when you look at what we did, we came out and ran the ball 29 times.
Yeah, out the gate.
Out the gate. I want to get to the fans just for a split second sidetrack. I truly, it's one thing to watch this game on television, but it was another thing to be in that stadium, to be a part of that atmosphere, because that was a phenomenal game. I had people saying the first half was boring. I said, no, you just don't love football. This was a great game. This was a phenomenal game by both sides. That first half, it was back to back. It was defense versus defense. Obviously, there was a couple mistakes and us shooting ourselves in the foot on a couple drives, right? But this was a defensive game. And not only that, to your point, what you just said, this was a different game that we haven't played this type of game. We played Big Ten football. That's exact. We came out and played big boy football.
Big boy pads.
Strap your chin strap up, put your helmet on, shoulder pads. Let's go see who is the toughest, most dominant, physically dominant team out there. And we went and did it. And to your point, this team has not played into the fourth quarter starters. So where we see a lapse, right, where we see this team take a step back, I think that was more mental fatigue and physical fatigue of not being in a position. I don't want to take anything away from Penn State, right, because they came out and called an effective game and did what they did, but I think it was fatigue. But to the fans, I hope that they were able to take this game in and appreciate it for what it was, no matter what side of the coin you were on, whether you won or lost, because they gave us something that we don't get. We got an instant classic at a Penn State whiteout. That's an instant
classic. Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, whether it was us winning, us losing them. I hope that we were truly able to appreciate how great that was. And that game, that's whether playing or watching the game, I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that. I really don't. I haven't, since I've retired from football, I haven't been a part of a game where I felt like, man, I want to go put some shoulder pads and a helmet on right now.
Yeah,
Give me some cleats.
That first half is all me. Yeah, you want to run the ball? Okay, let me get that.
Yeah.
I want a piece of that.
Yeah. These. Go ahead.
But I was gonna say, going back to this defensive game, right? The mentality. Like one of the reasons why this is the scariest team in all of college football is the fact that we were able to go in there and basically prove to the world that we can stop the run. We can do that.
That part.
We can stop the run. And what I love of the fact that why we were able to stop the run is because we have Bear Alexander, dog. Bear hugging guys. Listen, whenever he's tackling somebody, it's a bear hug. Okay?
Bear woke up.
He be snatching
Bear came
people
alive
up like a bear. But more importantly, what Bear Alexander's doing is he's buying in to the system. He's buying into the defense. Hey, Bear, we need you to take on two guys. We need you to take on double teams. He was taking up space, dog. And when you are able to have a player that is able to take on double teams, but also create a force and pierce an offensive line and get in the backfield and be disruptive, man, we might as well call him the disruptor, right? We have a lot of disruptors on that team, on that defensive line. You got Tuioti, disruptive. You got Mateo, disruptive. Like, these guys were active the whole entire time. And when we watched Penn State last year, that was a game where I was thinking to myself, man, scratching my head. We got out of that one. We snuck away from that one. This was a game where I'm like, okay, we won this game. Yeah. We found a way to win. Yeah. And the way we won was convincing because we stopped someone. We stopped them for three quarters, bro. They was nothing. That offense looked pitiful.
But giving Penn State credit as well, they held us down. You know what I'm saying? This again, I don't want to take anything away from what they did because they played a phenomenal game. They just came up on the short end of the stick.
We had better players than they did.
Yeah. We had better players at the most important spot on the field, at the quarterback spot.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at what Dante was able to do, again, you look at the maturity of Dante coming from UCLA to where he is now, seeing what he was and what he is currently, to go in that environment and not blink. Not blink. Going 29 of 39, 248 and 3 touchdowns. In comparison to 14 of 25, 137 and 2 touchdowns and an interception from Drew Aller. Like, Dante is what you need. Dante is what we are lucky to have a Dante Moore on this team. This dude is elite. This dude is special. This team is special. You said something a little bit ago where you're talking about the most dangerous team, and so I want to ask you a question. Do you believe that this is the best team in the country?
Yes. Yeah. And partly too because, you know, as you watch football, you watch throughout the progression of a season, you see certain teams peak. I don't think we've peaked. And the reason why is because what I saw after that game with Dante Moore and his emotion and the coaching staff, that was a moment where Dante Moore realized, oh, I am him. Like, I am the guy that I know that I am supposed to be. Like, I've worked all this time. I put in the work. I put in the time. I came from UCLA. I sat behind Dylan Gabriel. I humbled myself. I went through the process. And, you know, you have these games before this game, games that you're supposed to win. Oregon State, Oklahoma State, like all these games that are basically prep work for an opportunity to go on a national level and showcase the way you did. And then what happened at the end of the game, the emotion, his tears, that was a moment where the coaching staff embraced him and said, "Yep, you finally see what we see." Because
I think
like because I just know from my own experience, like the moment that I realized that I belonged in the NFL, for instance, was Monday Night Football against the Buccaneers. After that game, I was like, "Whoa, I did that." You know what I'm saying? Like there's always a moment for a guy, and I can't put words in his mouth. I can't really go into his mind and actually extract what he actually feels. But outside looking in, if I'm a fan watching this, if I'm a college football fan watching this, Dante Moore just proved to you that he is him. And what comes after that is dangerous.
There's no doubt about that. As individuals who've played the game, we understand what that emotion was.
Mm-hmm.
This was the biggest game of Dante Moore's collegiate career. He's played in no game bigger than this.
Mm-hmm.
He's played in no game that mattered as much as this. He's played in no game where the end results were as carried as much weight as what they do in this game. Again, this was 3 versus 6. This was Big Ten. This wasn't UCLA versus Oregon State. This wasn't that. This was a pure high intensity, high performance,
high stakes
football game between two powerhouses, not just in the Big Ten, but in college football. These are two college football playoff teams coming back and getting on the field and battling out and competing. So this was the biggest game of his career. So it was the biggest test. He hadn't faced anything like this. And so when you see that emotion, again, that was that, I believe, and like you said, that this was the moment where he's like, yeah, I'm here. Like, I belong here. I can do this. And then you hear Will Stein and their interaction in that video. They already have belief in him, right? But then when you go into an environment like this and you perform the way that you perform, that belief goes, now listen, I have all faith in you. There's no reason, any doubt that I have. We haven't played anybody. We've been saying that week after week after. We've been saying that. We haven't played anybody. Who are you and what are you when all the chips are on the table and everything is even? Who are you?
Who
Are you that same dude? Do you show up the same way? Do you perform that same way? And I won't say that he did. I'll say he performed far better than what he has all season long. This was the best game, and I'm glad that it happened with it. This was the best game that we've seen him play, just from a competitive standpoint.
I mean, his poise, decision-making, the toughness in his running.
Yes, all that.
And what that does, bro, you know, like you playing a video game and you do certain things to unlock certain things. What Dante Moore just did for Will Stein and company was watch this kid unlock the playbook. He's like, oh, Lord.
That part.
We now can do any and everything we want.
I'm gonna throw the kitchen sink at him. You got it. You got the keys to the city, Dante Moore. Do your thing. I'm no longer afraid. I'm not afraid to call anything.
Nothing.
At any point in time in the game. There's nothing in this playbook that I'm not willing to call because you went out and proved to me and if I had doubt, it's been erased. Listen, watching that boy look, Stevie Wonder could see this in a pitch black room. There is no there is no quarterback in the country that is playing as well as Dante Moore is playing. I don't care who you thought was better than him. I don't care who you want to be better than him. When you look at that game on Saturday that started at 8:00 in Happy Valley, by the end of it, if you're in your right mind, you cannot tell me that there's a quarterback out there that's better than Dante Moore.
And if you try to convince me otherwise, I don't trust you. Get out of my way.
You can't be trusted.
Get out of my face.
You can't.
Listen,
I had to look up at the camera. You can't be trusted, brother. You can't be trusted.
Look, Oregon proved that they could win ugly and late. That's championship DNA, dog. And then Dante Moore, shoot, for all I care, he just imprinted, he concreted, he put a stamp on his Heisman campaign. in prime time.
Listen, I like the kid from Oklahoma.
And
But you're not. Dante needs to be at the top of that. After that performance, again, it's a long season, right? You got to continue to go out and do it. But after last week's performance, he should, in my opinion, he's the front runner for that award.
Yeah, and a part of winning, though, Kenyon, as you know, right? Because you were on a team that Marcus Mariota was on, and without a supporting cast that can run the ball, Marcus Mariota might not win the Heisman, right?
Yeah.
Oklahoma can't run the ball like that. They run.
I'm just speaking purely from a quarterback play, not the running. Just going out there performing from the quarterback spot.
Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll get drafted, but he ain't winning the Heisman.
Nah, and there's still time to go. But I want to go back to the question that I asked you about them being the best team in the country. For me, I don't care right now. I don't care. I don't want you to be, like you said, peaking, right? I don't want you to be the best team in the country right now. I want you to be the best team in the country come January. Do I think that this is one of the best teams in the country? No doubt about it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I don't want you to be the best team in the country right now. Right. I could care less. Be the best team in the country come January, come playoff time, and host up that national championship. That's when I want you to be the best team. That's when it matters to me the most.
Yeah. That's a good point because it is a long season. We're fans. Yeah. We also cover Oregon, and it is a long season. But I'm going to tell you like it is. I'm going to tell you like it is. As far as what I've seen on Saturdays and Fridays and Thursdays and whenever they play college football, Oregon is outplaying everyone in the sense of how they're doing it, when they're doing it, and who's leading them to do it. Dan Lanning has beaten James Franklin twice now. Okay? And it's not by mistake. It's not by chance. It's by intentionality. It's about what he's been doing in the offseason, getting the right guys in here, upgrading your roster every single year, getting, Bear Alexander, dude, man, like that. I'm so happy for that kid because him leaving USC, they talked all kind of stuff about him, right? So many question marks about whether or not he's going to be able to develop and be the run stopper, right? Be the guy that's going in and disrupting things. And he was able to do that on the biggest stage. So all the pros, as you said, how many little field passes that they gave out for that game?
They gave out over 1,000 field passes.
So that means, ladies and gentlemen, there's NFL scouts, people that care about the next level. And
no, Stu. Don't say scouts. There were NFL GMs at that game.
GMs.
They didn't send scouts. They sent GMs to that game.
Yeah.
That lets you know something.
Yeah, that means there was people there looking to see who the best is.
Yeah, 1,000%.
That to me is just like everyone on that Oregon team that showed out, you were seen. And that's what makes me happy. That's what really makes me happy.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't spend some time on the offensive side of the ball. But before we leave from that side, talk to me about DK. Talk to me about Dante Moore. Do you think he could be or is the best receiver that Oregon has now? Again, you got a long way to go, right? There's numbers that have to be put up. But tell me what you think about DK. Again, I want to shout him out right quick. His stats, he ended up with having 7 catches, 89 yards, averaging 12.7 a catch. Phenomenal game.
When the ball's thrown to his vicinity, he's catching it. And he's not just catching, he's making the catch, right? It's one thing to have the ball come to you and you're like, oh, thanks. Perfect. But his relationship with Dante Moore is an easy relationship. And when I say easy, it means I'm accessible. I'm going to make my target to you very, very digestible, right? Meaning he can go up and get it. He can go over the cross and get it. He gonna be where he needs to be to get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's just certain aspects about playing receiver that I think a lot of guys just don't have. And he has the it factor. He knows how to get open, but more importantly, man, he just flashes different. But as far as him being the best receiver of all time at Oregon, time will tell. Time will tell. But is he on the right track? He's on the right track.
I was watching him warm up before the game, right? And as I'm looking at him, there's a level of intensity about him. Like when you look in his eyes before them games, he's focused, he's determined. And as he's warming up, as I'm walking away, he starts walking away. He finishes up, and I tell him, I said, "Hey," I said, "This is the game that make legends. This is what these type of environments, these type of games are where legends are born. Go out there and be legendary." And as we're walking, he stopped and I stopped, and he looked me dead in my face, didn't blink, didn't smirk, didn't laugh, didn't smile, and said, "This is what I came for," and walked off. I said, "Oof." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." This is exactly why I came here. This is what I came for.
Well
So
said,
no, he
young man.
the dude is special, and that's been known since he stepped foot on that campus. And I do think by the end of it, long as everything continues, health and everything stays right there, right, stays with him, I do believe that he will go down as probably the best receiver that Oregon has seen. Again, time will tell because there has been some guys before him. We seen a little change up at the running back spot during that game.
Okay. Yeah.
And there was a play that happened where Noah coughed the ball up or it was overturned. But I want to focus on Noah, right? Because I seen something from him that I didn't really like. And when he came to the sideline, he just had his hands on his head like this as he was walking. And confidence is everything in this game. You know what I'm saying? Belief is everything. And in that moment,
Yeah.
as I'm looking at him, obviously nobody wants to fumble. A fumble's gonna happen. But there's a attitude and mentality about it. You gotta have a short-term memory and understand that it does happen, and it will happen. It happens to the best of us. You look at the NFL right now, one of the best running backs Derrick Henry will go into the NFL Hall of Fame, is having little issues with the ball right now. But you can't stop
Derrick
being you. You gotta continue to be you. And if you lose confidence, or it appears that you've lost confidence or belief in yourself, everybody else around you will. Coaches will question you. Everybody's body language is everything. You can say what you want out your mouth, but when I look at you, if I'm talking to a man, if your body language don't scream it, if your body language doesn't tell it, I don't believe it. I just don't.
Goes back to that thing of trust. It has to be circulated so seamlessly in order for a team to really be able to move forward and to advance, right? What we saw from the guys that made these plays, and eventually Noah got back into the rhythm of things, but like your coaches have to trust you, so that way they can open up their playbook, they can open up coaching, but also the players around you will be able to deliver on a whole nother level too.
Right.
But yeah, to that point, Kenjon, there's a certain way about you when you do make mistakes.
Make it fast. Make
Coach
it full speed.
it's
Make your
actually
mistake, but make it
hilarious.
full speed.
Coach Cam actually used to say, "I don't care if you make a mistake, just make it fast."
But in the game of football, we don't have time. So what Dan Quinn said, I don't need you later.
Yeah.
I need you right now. I need you to perform now, and that's the game of football. And so Noah will shake back. I talked to him a little bit through text message, just reaching out, because that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I love Noah. Noah's a great kid, and I know how much he loves the game of football. So I reached out to him and talked to him. He's going to be all right. He's going to be straight. But where you do leave room, where you do leave a gap, that's room for somebody to step in. And boy, big play DH, okay? Big play D'Air Hill. Listen, 10 carries, 82 yards, a receiving touchdown.
Big play.
Listen, was
He
all
don't play
over
around.
the field. All over the field, and had an absolute day. Averaged 8.2 yards a carry with a long of 24. So he was still doing some dirty work, Stu. It wasn't like he got 82 yards with a 70-yard runs and another carry for 10 carries straight. Everything I do is going over 8.
He was getting 8 yards per carry.
Every single time. And I told him on the sideline.
Here, go 8.
I said after the game,
go 8.
We were hugging after the game, and I told him, I said, bro, I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. Because I seen where you were in spring ball and I see where you are now. Don't stop doing what's gotten you to this point. And when things change in your favor, you don't stop being who you are. Stay this.
Yeah,
that
dude
dude ran so hard.
Yeah.
That dude ran hard all game.
Yeah.
Boy, the boy got some burners.
Yeah, all game. And he fast as all get out, man. Like, listen, boy got some burners. It remind me of Kenjon Barnes a little bit. Listen, when I tell you this, man, this is what we played. We played a game that I'm so proud of. The things that we talked about, Kenjon, stopping the run was important. But running the ball, that has to go with it.
And we're going to put it to the test. We're going to put it to the test.
Basically saying, you line up with your best, I'm going to line up with my best. And we're going to just see who the best. We're going to put it to the test. And guess what? Gearhart Hill Jr. is the best running back that Oregon will see on the field. Meaning whoever they play, whether it's Penn State, Ohio State, whoever the state is, wherever state he going to be at, he going to be the best running back on the field. That's my opinion. That's my take. Because he was the best player carrying the football in that game this past weekend. Katron Allen.
We've consistently talked about these cats, right? These two young bucks
back on the field.
These two young bucks that Oregon have. Listen, if it wasn't for Noah Whittington being there, I do believe that this would be a very similar situation to when myself and LaMichael took over the running back room as redshirt freshmen. The only difference is these dudes are true freshmen. When you look at Jordan, when you look at Gearhart, this is a dangerous 1-2 combo, and you haven't really got to see Jordan in the field of play. Like you've gotten to see him on goal line and short down and distances. The dude can run the ball. Yes.
Open up yet. Yeah.
Both of them. And I didn't say both. I said
blocking,
both
though.
With an F.
And he blocked.
Both.
He a football player.
Both of
them.
We were going into both in the halftime.
BOAF.
I was with a lady named Trista Crick and this guy that worked for NBC. We were chopping it up, and she said, "What do you think needs to happen?" I said, and I don't want to. Trista can verify this. I said, "This is Gearhart Hill's game." And she looked at me, she said, "Why do you say that?" I said, "Because I know the flow of games." I said, "Sometimes you just don't have it as a starter. It doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just not your day. It's just not your game." And what I seen from Gearhart in the brief spots that he had in that first half, I said, "This is Gearhart Hill's game."
Yeah.
And so she was like, "So what do you think?" I said, "They need to leave him alone. Don't take him off the field and let him play. Point blank, period." And so come second half, I'm walking by her, she grabbed me. She said, "Hey, you knew what you was talking about." I said, "Listen, it just looks different. It feels different. Listen, that young dude, dude, we got
That's also the reason why we are. That's also the reason why we have
that can play
the depth that we do have. You know what I'm saying? You can go. We have. Yeah. Like we got a chance. We got a chance to be able to go in there and say, "Hey, look, we're gonna give each one of y'all on this list a chance. One of y'all gonna have to show out. And when y'all do, we're gonna ride with you." And that's what they did, man. Gearhart Hill took advantage of his opportunity. Noah Whittington fumbled. And the very next play, this is where Will Stein is just insane, crazy. Because with that play, it's a fumble. A lot of offensive coordinators tuck away and they try to play it safe after that.
Go ahead, say it.
The blade of grass.
Don't hesitate. You're right.
The blade of grass.
It did. The
blade of grass saved our ass to come back with it and basically a lot of teams would just go up run play.
Go about wide.
All right, let's get our bearings back. Right?
Go line up at number one.
Gearhart, I want you to go up there and line out wide, and we're going to go up there and run this tunnel screen, and you're going to score.
Listen,
number one.
I didn't call Kenjon Sadiq's
Decorian,
number.
go sit down somewhere.
I called
and
that
go block,
young boy's
because
number.
you already proved
Dier,
that you can block.
go out
and
there,
you
line
block.
up at number 1, and make it do what it do. Go in there and touch paint.
The freshman.
We had Listen, I want to be like
Get
Mike.
busy. Be it Michael
continue to
Jordan
talk
right
about,
quick. Number
like, this
23.
room. We talked about who we leaving behind, right? Because it's 4 games. I mean, left somebody behind. We talked about that, so I was real interested to see who was going to be dressed for this game, right? Who was going to play, and so I guess we know who's playing. I guess we know what the rest of the season will look like. It'll look like Noah Whittington again. Noah's been hurt, coming back off of his injury. He missed two games, one more game. Come back. You have Jay Harris. You have Jordan Lamar, who's playing well. But then you have them 2 young bucks. And so now the question is, right, with the way that Dier Hill is performing, do you now become my starter? Or do I continue to... So you think he needs to take over?
It's not a question. Yeah. Listen. He's the best. Listen, unless you want to treat this like a DeAnthony Thomas,
you do, and
Kenyon Garner, LaMarcus James situation, right? Where you got 3 dogs.
I think you have
and
to.
They're gonna eat
because
differently.
Noah could play the game. Noah's a dog. Noah's
exactly what happened with y'all. You know
absolute dog.
You can treat it that way.
This fumbling situation ain't gonna do nothing but motivate him and push him to another level. Not only that, when you look behind you and you see Dier Hill clipping at your heels, you see Jordan, you see what they are. I don't have a choice but to elevate my play. I don't have a choice, bro. You said it. I was in a room with LaMichael James and DeAnthony Thomas, and DeAnthony was behind me.
Yeah, just up
so I knew he was nibbling. I knew what he was. What on my heels? So it brought the best out of me.
Mm-hmm.
It made me elevate my game because I knew how
on
dangerous
your heels.
DeAnthony was. And when you have that, I think you have to figure out a way to utilize all 4 of them dudes, because that's clearly what the rotation is going to be. It's clearly going to be Noah, Dier, Jordan, Jaden. That's the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in each of those games, there'll be a RB1 that comes out on top for that game. And it could be different each game. And I actually like that.
Well, talk
like
yourself into it and go ahead.
I'm glad we talked
it
about
out so everybody can hear what you talk yourself into.
Yeah, man. So look, it's better to have this situation anyway, because then when you go in and a defense has to, plan for you, they're going to be like, okay, we don't know who the starter is going to be this week. We don't know who's going to be hot.
So, but to that, right?
We don't know what Will Stein's going to do.
Dier Hill has been the best
be
back
ready
this
for
season.
All of it.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Him and Jordan Davison have been the best backs on the roster, hands down.
Oh, yeah.
Consistently. And again, starters didn't play that long and didn't play that much, but when you look at who they are and what they are in spots, Dier has been the guy. And I go back to what I was hearing out of fall camp. Dier was the guy. That's been the consensus, and that's what you're seeing. So it's a saying. I'd rather have it than not need it than to need it and not have it. And listen, we got something. We got something special in that running back room. Listen, I'm an old soul. I've been here before. You laughing? I've been here before.
Having some sayings, don't you?
I've experienced.
Where you get that at?
Listen, I've been here before, brother. This soul that exists within this body is a lot older than this body.
You experienced life before you experienced this life?
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me?
Yes. All I need is my staff.
Okay. All right.
No, man, listen, it is a great...
All right, Moses.
And it's not just in the running back room. We got depth at receiver. There's depth all over this field. I got to continue to show love to this cat. And I told you before, I absolutely I love Ed Flowers. I absolutely love this kid. The D-boys, The D-boys just might be back, and and that's not.
Are the D-boys
you can't
back?
just say that lightly. So to say that means something. So again, we gotta get back to having people on, right? We gotta get back, and I think that's right where we need. That's boy, get out my kitchen cabinets. Get out my kitchen cabinets. Because that's exactly who I was thinking.
Let's get
we
Pat
gotta
Chung
get Boss.
and them.
We gotta get Ward on here. We need to get Ward on here. We need to get Pat. We need to go ahead and dig Jarius up from out the woods, living, off the grid, and bring him back. Yeah, come back to the grid for a little bit.
Yeah.
When you look at this secondary,
come back,
bro,
it's to the grid.
It looks like something. It feels like something. And not only that, from the outside looking in, when you on that field and you hear them pads clicking and clacking, you know it's something.
Yeah.
And it starts right there. They hitting. That boy Deuce One coming downfield and hitting.
Yeah.
You gonna feel me.
They hitting.
Man.
Yuck it.
No, but I think I said this on the pod.
Drew Aller, man, is it Drew Aller's fault?
A million people.
Because they weren't open.
I don't think Drew is a bad quarterback. I don't think he's a bad quarterback, right? But Drew is not what the media has built him up to be. The media has created this narrative about what Drew is and his performance. Drew, I go back to last season. Drew wasn't like that last season.
Media's fault.
Now, again, I'm not saying that he's a bad quarterback. He's just not what everybody wants, what they've built him up to, what they've hyped him up to be. He's not. He's a better runner than he is a thrower. He's a guy that can go get it with his legs, and from what we've seen, it's his arm. The arm.
It sounds like you're saying
I said a guy.
Drew Aller
Did I say that?
is a jag, just a guy. Because you keep saying a guy.
So you think I'm Steve Smith Senior right now?
You're just a guy. It's okay.
No, but again, I don't like talking about college kids like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Guy. Boom.
Hey,
Boom.
man, look.
Boom.
This is what Drew Aller is. He's a guy he's a game manager. Okay? He's going to manage the college football game. And that's the difference between Dante Moore and him. Dante Moore creates wins. I look at that in the fourth quarter, in the overtime. There was a play where we did a play action. He rolled out to the right, and 33 right there in his face. What does he do? Two hands on the ball,
Yeah.
and give him a little Euro step, and throws the ball on a dart. Okay, he does that like just on the spot. Like it's just it's a natural thing for him to create space for him to deliver the pill. And so I honestly think, that's why we have Dante Moore, and that's why, Dan the Man is the best college football coach.
Yeah.
In all football. And shoot, he's a motivator. He knows what talent looks like. He knows how to delegate amongst his own coaching staff.
Yeah,
he
1,000%.
knows what it takes to get guys to run through a wall.
Yeah, Dan is
Because
special.
I'll run through a wall. I'll run through this
But
wall
shout out
behind
to the
me.
Ducks, man.
Shoot,
Going out there getting the job done.
Motivated.
I think this was Penn State's first whiteout loss in a few years. I think it had been, if I remember the stat, since like 2018. But still, listen, I don't know if Dan is running his own account, right? But so you seen the presser that he had where they asked him if they would hear Mo Bamba, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll play it." He was like, "It's not my favorite song." My dog posted this on his story. My favorite song, and it's Mo Bamba.
My new favorite song, yeah.
You want to talk about petty? You want to talk about well, we know that, right? We know that. We know how Dan is.
Yeah, he one of us.
1,000%. He is one of us. Absolutely one of us through and through. But look, before we get out of here, I want to ask you a question because I had this thought as I was sitting back in the media room. The implications of this game, right? I'm sitting and I'm listening to the media talk and how they're talking to Coach Franklin. What are the implications and what are the benefits of losing and winning a game like this?
I mean, signature road win, first of all, right? That's a pro, right? You go to Happy Valley, and in the words of Kenyon Sadiq, it's not Happy Valley anymore, right? And you got to be a part of that experience as far as your team and the growth and confidence and where you want to go, right? You've earned the right to be where you are right now. You just got to keep it going. I think for our quarterback, you were able to go out there and showcase that you were Heisman caliber. And as far as this game and the magnitude and what to expect going forward, what you're going to have to do now is manage the trajectory on which you're already going, right? When I say manage, it comes down to the coaching staff, right? To manage the highs and lows of your team, making sure that you're checking them, with the humble clock, right? We got to stay here. We can't get too laxed. We can't, especially going into this bye week, you have to come out with the same intensity, the same preparation that got you here. The same thing you just shared about DR Hill, be the same guy, right?
Yeah.
And then I just think the depth, right? We got to make sure we're load management is a big thing as far as the players go, as far as the defense go. I think, we're really good at our starting depth, but we got to make sure we keep those guys healthy. So management, as these games progress throughout the rest of the year, we have to handle business early and often so that way we can actually do a good job of keeping that managed.
Yeah.
As far as this type of game it puts us in a whole different realm, in my opinion. It's up to the University of Oregon and the coaching staff to make sure they stay on the right trajectory.
I want to go a different route with that, but you hit the nail on the head with everything that you said. When I look at games like this, when I look at these big time matchups where you have top 10 opponents facing one another, these are the type of games. When I look at the implications and the benefit of, these are the type of game that solidify legacy. As a coach and as a player, these are the type of games that build you up and place you at a level to where certain things become undeniable. These are the type of games, if you're a coach, when you look at Coach Lanning and Coach Franklin, wins in these type of games quiet the noise of should you have this job or should you not. Wins in these type of games solidify you as the head of a program. And when I was sitting in the back in that media room, and why I asked that question, there was an opportunity missed by my colleagues now that I work in media, right? There was an opportunity for a question to be asked and it wasn't. Everybody wanted to talk to Coach Franklin. Well, you struggle against top 10 teams. Like, what do you have to say about that? And, he gave a great answer, took ownership. But the question that should have been asked, these type of games, when you win or lose them, the type of question, when you're Coach Franklin, you look at where he's been versus top 10 opponents, the question is not, do you think you're the guy for the job? The question now becomes, tell me why you are the guy for the job. And when you lose in these type of games, those are the conversations. You either are the guy or you aren't. And when you look at Coach Franklin and his struggle versus top 10 opponents, and we talk about legacy, his legacy will be impacted, and what not teams, but what is known in the media is that you can't win the big one. So when you do win these games, again, these are legacy building games. You look at us versus Ohio State last year, that'll be a game that will forever be talked about as long as Dan Lanning is the coach of Oregon, and even thereafter, that'll be a game that people talk about. You talk about Oregon versus Penn State in the Big Ten championship game. That will be a game that people will forever talk about. So these are legacy type games. These are games that add value to who you are as a coach and who you are as a player. So I just wanted to get some insight on that, because that was something that, as I was sitting in the back of that media room.
I think, my brother, I think that is absolutely on par, right? Because that is a great question. Why are you the man for the job? And if you can't answer that honestly, somebody better get to looking, right? Because the reason why Dan Lanning is the man for the job is because he recruits well. He develops well. He delegates well. He motivates well. He reads the room. He goes into each situation prepared to handle it differently as it should be, right?
Yeah.
It's like playing golf, man. You can practice your swing motion over and over again. But when you go out there to that course, you're going to have a different lie every time. You're going to have a wedge in. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, 120 yards. That shot, I got that in the bag. But you might be on a hill. You might be on a flat plane. You might be in a sand bunker. And what Dan's really good at and what he prepares for is all of it. I'm going to be able to adapt and get my guys to adapt. And he doesn't just adapt on game day. He doesn't just adapt on game week in preparation. He adapts in the off season, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get a guy like Barry Alexander. You know you're going to have some guys missing because they're going to the league. So you're upgrading. I don't think James Franklin upgrades. I think he has a political sense of how things should be ran, like it is old school. Because back in the day, it was like, hey, we got our returning starters. They're going to start, right? And that's exactly what we saw out there. They had a lot of returners. They had a lot of guys that were on that field from last year. That might be a problem. Like, are you upgrading your roster? So, but that's a good question because he's 4-21 against top 10 teams.
4-21. 4-21. 4-21. Like that's a crazy stat. That's a crazy stat. And again,
and Penn State has allowed this to just be and it's not, and players play, coaches coach, but at some point the recipe over there ain't working. It ain't cooking. It ain't seasoned. It ain't got nothing going on when it comes to top 10 teams.
Yeah. And you when you talk about Coach Lanning doing what and how he builds these teams, whether he has guys coming back or not, that was the narrative around this game, right? That Penn State had the most returning players coming back, most experienced than any other, and it just didn't work out that way. But nevertheless, Ducks get the win, continue to improve on an undefeated season. We are now into Big Ten play. We are now 2 and we got a bye week this week. So we're going to take this rest up, heal up, and get ready for the following week to get this ball rolling again. But
stay out of trouble, kids.
With that being said, stay out of trouble on the bye week. Stay out of you boy, listen. So much can happen on the bye week. And Dan said this after the game. Dan said this after the game. Be mindful of your teammates and be mindful of the mission. Be mindful of your teammates, be mindful of the mission.
We got the best coach in all football. Might be NFL too.
Don't say that because I don't want nobody coming to knock on his door. I don't want nobody coming to, hey.
Listen, knock. Who's there, Dan? Nobody. Standout Oregon.
Yeah, there we go. I like that. And we're going to end on that note. With that being said, baby, that's all we got time for today. Jay Stewart, I love you.
Love you too, dog.
And as always, ducks of a feather flock together, and we out.